What is AWS? Millions of people ask this question, so Amazon tried to answer it in a 3-minute video. Unfortunately, they left thousands of people just as confused as before. Now, I don't work for Amazon, and I'm certainly not their marketing department, so in the next 3 or so minutes, I will answer what is AWS in a way that you can make sense of. I'll start with an analogy. If you're going to make a cake, the recipe does not start with buy a field, till the soil, and plant some wheat. Now, some silly people will say that you're not a real baker unless you mill your own flour. But just let those people be wrong. There are a lot of wrong people on the internet. Back to the cake recipe. As a baker, you buy your ingredients from the grocery store. As a builder of a tech-based software system, you get your ingredients from AWS. AWS is the tech grocery store. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. Amazon is the company that provides them. Web just means that it communicates in the same way as websites do, and services explains that you're not buying things from Amazon, you're taking advantage of the technology services that they offer. In that way, it's a little more like buying metered electricity from your wall plug, but I'm mostly going to stick with the baking analogy because there are a lot of ingredients. Okay, so AWS includes hundreds of system ingredients that you can use to build whatever you need, pretty much any system that manages any information in any way. That's a lot of any's, but that's because ingredients range from things that almost everyone uses in almost every system, like S3 for object storage, to niche ingredients that only a very small fraction of builders will ever use, like ground station for managing satellites. How many satellites do you have? Probably the same number as me. Now, AWS has services in a bunch of different categories. There's compute, storage, database, networking, analytics, machine learning, security, and many more. Some of these categories contain dozens of different options, kind of like how a grocery store aisle might have all-purpose flour and pastry flour and whole wheat bread flour and whatever. So you just pick the ones you need for your recipe. So, how do these things work behind the scenes? Well, Amazon buys literally tons of computer hardware and installs it all across the globe. They have dozens of regions, over 100 availability zones, and over 600 points of presence, also called POPs, or edge locations, sprinkled everywhere. Together, this all offers super quick communication with people all over the world, no matter where they are, plus a ton of redundancy to deal with any problems that might happen. Then, AWS spends literally hundreds of millions of person hours per year on building and supporting services that run across all of that hardware. That's where we come in. As builders of technology systems, we can use our AWS accounts to ask those services to do things that are valuable to us. Whenever we use some service, AWS only charges us for the amount we use, much like how we get charged for just the electricity we draw from a wall plug, or just the ingredients that we take home from the store. We can have S3 remember some data for us and give it back later when we ask. We can have Lambda run some bit of program code we've written to transform one thing into another. We can have CloudFront remember parts of our website at all of those edge locations I mentioned so that our customers have very fast experiences. We can have Bedrock tweak some foundation model and AI generate valuable new stuff based on it when we ask. We can have EC2 give us a virtual machine or 1,000 of them and run whatever application we want, even high-end video games. We can have the simple email service SES send or receive some email for us. We can have end-user messaging send WhatsApp and SMS messages. We can have QuickSight make business intelligence reports for the executives. The list goes on. Basically, if you need some ingredient to build your tech system, AWS probably has it. Okay, so my super quick answer to the question, what is AWS then, is that AWS is the tech builder's version of a well-stocked grocery store. Now you may be wondering, what are all of the AWS services and how can I use each of them? Well, those are follow-up questions for other videos. So let's continue.